Hey everybody, welcome to the second volume of my tank series, tank models. I like to build primarily German tank models from World War II. This is made by Tacom. It's the Mammut, or Mammoth in German. It would be Mammoth in several ways. This huge barrel. That is a 150 millimeter gun, a huge concept gun. This tank was never built. It wasn't even really beyond the blueprint stage. It was never manufactured in any way. Like the Tiger Mouse, it was my volume 1. They were trying to build that one. They actually had pieces in a factory that they were trying to do. This, as far as we know, was never built in any way. Now, as far as the turret and the look of it, one of the reasons this tank model appealed to me was it very much resembles a bigger, beefier King Tiger with a Porsche turret, and I just love that look. I like that. That's the King Tiger is my favorite of all the tank designs. And understand, I don't promote war, Germans, World War II, any of that crap. I'm glad it was won and we beat these guys. My thing is the wonderment of the German engineering and what they were working on, what they were doing. These almost look like future tanks. They don't even look like World War II. They just, it's phenomenal to me what the Germans were doing in design. Look at this. There's armor that goes all the way around. It would have been harder to shoot this guy from the back. Even this back plate of the turret is very, very thick. And I've got some details in there. I'm kind of learning to do rust and chipping and some minor detailing. And no, I don't have any blast points. There's no ricochets and things like that. I haven't quite gotten brave enough to damage my model yet. So this is the out-of-box Tacom with an added machine gun here. I got an extra. The Tamiya, or one of those companies, makes 35th scale German tank accessories, and so I actually added some to the kit. There's extra tools and a little crank bar back here, that little crank bar there, things like that. And in keeping in my sort of fantasy story thing, the Tiger Mouse, which is the other video, volume 1, was 013. This one's 113. And I figure if there are any other more futuristic or modern or advanced super tanks, I'll keep it in the 13 number thing just for fun, just to keep them as a series. The mouse will be 003. If I ever get a mouse, which is the largest tank really ever made, and it was had a body and hull similar to this with solid armor mantle sides and a complex wheel assembly on the bottom for driving really, really broad treads. I mean, it had to disperse 100 tons of weight. And this design was just, it was another way of doing it. It had, on each side, there were 6 assemblies of 12 wheels each, or 12 wheels overall on each side. And it's just unreal to build. I had a heck of a time with that because you have to paint everything down here first. All the wheel assembly stuff has to be done first. And it's, you can get a better view here. See, the wheels even on the other side there are the same. They've got the fancy, I guess that's shock absorber systems. I'm not even sure. This one has the benefit of having actually posable wheels. They tip and bend and do all that, and it's quite amazing. I mean, if I wanted to make some kind of a diorama, I could do it. I could make this, I could make these bend and give over landscape. Now, the other thing about it too is I love the clean action on the turret. Tacom is a wonderful model company. They're new to me. I've only ever built to the Tamiya brand and maybe a few Squadron, Dragon, I don't know, a few limited companies. When I started building tanks, you're talking about 40 to 50 years ago, and the last tank I built was 30 years ago. And I've just rediscovered them thanks to my friend Cole. And oh, by the way, all paints and supplies and things for these kits I acquire at my local hobby art supply store, the Artfull Barn. And my friend Greg that runs that is beginning to see a lot of enthusiasm from us crazy tank nuts. I coat everything with Mr. Super Clear matte finish spray. That makes everything look a little bit better. And I use Vallejo paints. Now, I just acquired this one. This is the red primer color. And you'll notice what looks like a lot of rust on there. Well, that's actually primer showing through the corners and things. If there's rust, the rust will be a slightly different shift, a more orangey color. That primer would come through on those later German tanks. And it might come through the paint if there was damage or something. And it made it look even rustier than it was. And I may have gone a little crazy with that. I'm just having fun. And I'm learning my chipping techniques. I'm learning decal fun, which is a little tricky still. Learning some other aging, blending, weathering techniques. The camouflage pattern comes from, I'll put this back here in the background. That's the instruction manual. It comes from an illustration that's actually in here of this design. I guess it was a German painted pattern that would have had maybe a sprayed yellow, German yellow and green, and then they came and painted a rough white pattern. And to get to white, I mixed actually white with light gray and got that. And because I figured it wouldn't look really white, it just didn't look right. And that way I could also dirty the heck out of it. Anyway, I could go on and on about all the fun that I had painting on this model. It's really, really fun. Because you can't make a real mistake because it didn't exist. It just looks real cool. So I'll leave it at that. And next model, I don't know what it'll be. Next tank, it could be a mouse. It could be, might not be German. It might be another, might be an American. I'm wanting to get a Pershing and some other models. It might be a Churchill, British Churchill. I'm really after one of those. All 35th scale for now. And my big goal eventually will be a 1/16. It's a King Tiger. And when I get that, believe me, you'll know. I may even do an unboxing video. It will be huge. It'll make this a dwarf. And that King Tiger will be a fun but long, laborious build because it's a full interior. And 2 turrets. You have a choice. But this bad boy is good to go. The VK100p Mammut 2-in-1 kit by Tacom. It was a blast. Now get out of the way of that 150mm gun and hope you can hear. Take care. See you next time.